Right now I'm in high school, so it's all the rage. I actually take a couple of CS classes. AP Computer Science Principles is one I'm involved in. And so we use softwares such as Character AI, which actually makes kind of like a whole emotional character based on prompts you give it, and then it puts it through an AI software. And then it's kind of like ChatGPT, except if ChatGPT had opinions. And of course, I've also used ChatGPT. I think everyone has.
La he utilizado en mezclar genes y eso.
I've experimented with stuff like ChatGPT before, as many people have, I think, and other similar platforms, as well as some assistive coding and whatnot technology for personal use.
ChatGPT, I think we all have. I've used Lobe AI, which is pretty fun. NanoNets is another one that I've played with. I've used Google's Bard a little bit. Trying to think of other ones. That's probably it.
I think it's definitely an interesting problem. In the workplace, I think it has definite efficiency advantages. In the classroom, I think less so, as far as you're there more so to learn, and it definitely makes it necessary to know how to use it, both in the workplace and the classroom, if other people are, just from a pure efficiency standpoint.
Creo que no me molesta tanto mientras no sea una información errónea, porque creo que se está adaptando cada vez más a nosotros y pronto va a ser como Google.
I think it's totally justified. I mean, if they're using ChatGPT, it's totally on them because, of course, they're going to learn the material less. I guess it's not material. It's more like they're going to learn the skills at a worse rate than me because I believe that hands-on learning is extremely important to understand a subject. But I guess if they put us both in a room, he'd be faster with ChatGPT, but I'd be faster over time.
I don't mind it to a certain degree. I think the output's only as good as the input that you give it. So if you do a really good job writing a prompt and it gives a good output, and as long as you, the person who submitted that work, can defend it and you studied it, not just like you typed something in, you copied and pasted what the output was and you threw it in, you walked away. If you're actually doing your due diligence as a researcher and using it as like a helper rather than just a crutch, then I don't mind. But there has to be a certain degree of responsibility that you take on when you do something like that.
I think we like it. I mean, every new iPhone is pretty much bought out and sold out to the max. I think that there's a group of people who are interested in computer science because they grew up with technology, video games and such that respond super heavily, and then it sometimes trickles down to people who aren't as interested in technology. And so I think one way or another, all children of like my generation are interested in new products.
I think our generation is very quick at adapting to these changes. We learn how to use them quickly, use them well quickly, and also forget about them quickly. It moves fast.
La generación Z somos personas muy abiertas al cambio. Creo que hemos crecido en un ambiente donde siempre la tecnología fue evolucionando, así que creo que estamos acostumbrados a eso, así que creo que es parte de nuestra normalidad.
I'm pursuing a career in computer science.
I plan to major in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or chemical engineering.
Me gustaría estudiar arte y moda.
Biomedical engineering. I have my degree in my undergrad from UMass Dartmouth, and I'm getting my master's next year. I'm looking towards nanotechnology and like nanobots going in and around the body to kind of integrate the robotics field and the medical field more.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned, but at the same time, it'll probably just be more of a tool than anything. I think that engineering is a very creative job space, and so I don't think it'll get particularly removed by AI.
Absolutely, it already is. Just like I said, I've messed around with some assistive coding technology, stuff like that. That right now, for now, it speeds up our work, but I could very well see a spot down the line where it eliminates, 80% of the necessary workers.
Creo que se va a adaptar, sí, pero no creo que se vuelva automática, porque el arte depende mucho de la creatividad humana y creo que ninguna máquina o tecnología podría compararse a la creatividad humana.
I think instead of a company hiring 20 researchers, they'll hire one and then pay for an AI cobot to work with them. I think their ability to parse large data sets is better than any human can do, and it just makes sense that instead of having a bunch of researchers do that kind of like dirty work or do that menial labor, you could just have a robot which is vastly better at doing it, do it instead. I think the human robot pairing that happens where you're working in tandem with an AI rather than having the AI take the job completely is a better like short-term solution than the AI just taking my job completely. I don't see that happening.
I think schools should need to have technology to detect use of artificial intelligence. It's really difficult to learn when it's so easy to use artificial intelligence and get the answer right away. Workplaces need to integrate it more. Efficiency-wise, it's such a game changer that workers can be 10 times more efficient using artificial intelligence, and that has great implications, maybe scary implications, but I think a lot of them are really cool.
In like school environments, that's really hurting educators in the system because it's hard to detect. But I think going down the line, since they do store all those documents, it's going to be a problem going back. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but like they store everything I submit for school. And so if I submit something that was written by an AI and then 10 years from now they come out with a detector that can finally detect it perfectly, then all those documents that I submitted, they could scan them again, if that makes sense. So I think that's a real problem for educators right now because they don't have a good system to catch them. But moving forward, when the technology matures a bit more and the schools kind of catch wind of it, I think it will affect that industry.
Creo que se deberían adaptar a ellas, pero creo que no deberían de utilizar o dejar que los alumnos la utilicen en totalidad, porque si dejas que un alumno tenga el trabajo muy fácil, no va a desarrollar neuronas que necesita desarrollar.
I think it will continue to boom. We've already seen it. There's been huge growth here. A place like New Bedford Research and Robotics is a great example of this. Just bringing people, attention, efficiency into the city is really cool. And getting new technology like this is really exciting.
New Bedford is, of course, like a very industrial community because you guys, I guess we're based in the whaling industry, and we still have, a lot of those factories still up and running. And so I think it won't necessarily impact them because we already have robots in place to do that kind of manufacturing. But I think as far as the community and I guess the buildings actually will be planned out better. But that's all I can really think of.
Certainly in the last couple years, this area has been revitalized a bit. I'm seeing more and more in my field, specifically that biotech and biopharmaceutical companies coming to this area instead of Boston. Boston's kind of like driving people away with the high rate and the high rent prices. So I can certainly see that being revitalized. I think technology, like the stuff we're doing here, will help the industry and push it forward. We're certainly growing in that area, and I don't think AI needs to have a specific location to grow and develop. It can be done anywhere. It can be done from your cell phone or just anyone's laptop. So yeah, I see that happening.